This week we learned a lot of information. Before this class started for the family practicum, I didn't know much about family life educators, and I've learned a lot in the readings over these last couple of weeks. Family life education is really interesting, more interesting than I knew. And it has its beginnings as far back as 1800 and even probably a little bit sooner, starting with self-help books. And growing up, my mom was always reading self-help books, always trying to improve herself, and I got that habit from her. And I also read a lot of self-help books and try to improve myself. Family life education is a growing discipline, and they have very different approaches that you can use. I really like the collaborator approach because it's the best of the expert and facilitator approaches. I also see value in the eclectic approach because it kind of uses whatever approach is necessary to teach what the clients need to know to better their relationships. I really like the different types of prevention that are in family life education. Primary prevention is helping families develop knowledge and skills. Secondary prevention is working with those who have some signs of risk, and then tertiary prevention is those who already experience distress, or they usually require therapy at that stage. And I can see myself working in any of these three prevention levels, but the best results would probably come from primary prevention, because if you can prevent signs of risk in a family, that's probably the best option, because at secondary and tertiary, then you're more correcting things that are already going wrong, whereas with primary, you can teach the knowledge and skills that they need to not get to that stage, and I kind of like that. For developing a family life education program, there's 4 main things, and I really like those. It's the content rings true. The content is based on sound scholarship. The content incorporates culture, experience, and experiences of learners. And the principles work in practice. I see a lot of value in the intake summary interviews for the same reason, because you can design a tailored approach to what the family's needs are that you're going to be working with. I find that in my experience, people learn at a level that they can understand. So if you can relate it to their culture, their expertise, or their life experiences, they're going to learn a whole lot better. I really enjoyed the chapter 16 on marketing. I kind of wish that I had learned this principle about marketing before I took my Communications 273 class. We were asked to do a presentation and market it, and we had to get at least, I think, 8 people there, and we could choose any topic that we wanted. So I chose to do my topic on how reptiles can reduce stress as pets, and not a lot of people have that same interest that I do in reptiles and snakes and lizards and things like that. And so I marketed to about 30 people. I called them, I handed out flyers, I reminded them. And so I think I offered refreshments if they would come, and I think I did all the right steps, but my topic was not the greatest topic. I should have chosen a different topic that was more marketable to the people that I was marketing to. And so out of 30 or 40 people that I marketed it to, I had 8 people show up for my presentation. And I think it was definitely the topic, and some of those people came just to support me. Another thing that I really liked was learning about the collecting data. So you've got the primary data collection, which is the face-to-face interaction with your target audience. You've got the secondary research, which is the available data like surveys, studies, journals, stuff like that. And then you have focus groups, which are small discussion groups of either similar or varied characteristics, whatever the researcher is looking for. I have a little bit of experience with this. When I first graduated high school, I decided I wanted to be a children's book author. And so I thought up these questions, and I typed out this survey, and I handed it out to all my aunts and uncles who had children under the age of 16. And friends in my ward who had children under the age of 16 and asked them what kind of characters they wanted to see in a book and what they wanted the characters to do. And it was a full page. It was just one page, but it was a full page survey that they could ask their children what they wanted in a book idea. And so I collected all this data and never wrote a children's book. I think I still have them somewhere packed away, but I did the initial research. So if I want to go back and look at that information, all I have to do is go find out where I put it and pull it out. And then I have all that data available to me should I want to write a children's book in the future. I really like the information also about the National Council on Family Relations and the Certified Family Life Educator credential. I think this is a really important credential for family life educators. Not only does it hold you to a code of ethics that you sign, no, this is on the honor system, but that's a lot like the honor code here at BYU Idaho. So we're kind of used to that, but maybe not other people are. There's no enforcement of the ethics, unfortunately. But the other thing too with the certifying of the family life educators is it holds the those who are certified to a standard of practice in the industry, and they should be at this level instead of just saying that I'm a family life educator, but then not having any rules to live by or standards to practice by. The last thing I really liked was the statement of principles. There were a couple that stood out to me. There were quite a few of them, but the ones that stood out to me were empathy, and that was like the number one to me, because to me, if you can understand where somebody's coming from or how their perspective is or how they view the world or where they're coming from or their life experiences have shaped them, if you can try to get in their head and see the world from their views or from, like they say, walk a mile in somebody's shoes, if you can do that, you can better help that person to get to where they want to be or to where they need to be. You can help them strengthen those relationships. If they had problems with intimacy or with trust in the past, you can try to help them with empathy. You can try to help them get past those things and move to a better place in their life. Another one that stood out to me was agency. If there's one thing that I've learned in my lifetime, it would boil down to that people have a choice in what they're going to do. And if they're not ready for that, then they're not going to do that. And that kind of leans into that readiness for change principle that they also had. I like that one too. But if they're not ready to change, they're not going to. You have to be ready for change and you have to be willing to change in order to change. And so that, and then we have to look at motivation and how we're going to help them change. I also liked the integrity and goodness. They seem to go hand in hand. Integrity, doing what you know is right, no matter if there's somebody there to see you or not. Goodness, being kind and loving towards everyone. And the last one that really stood out to me was discovery. Discovering who you are and owning that and being yourself no matter what. So those are the things that really impressed me over these last few weeks. I look forward to learning with you. Thanks.